Heyo, you're tuning into Toasted Time, where I cook your time with some Reddit stories. Right now, we've got relationship advice, where we learn about women's biggest turnoffs in a man. Our first story is by Miss Resilient. I'm a heterosexual woman, so I'm referring to turnoffs in a guy, but if you identify otherwise, I'm still curious to read what your turnoffs are, whether you're on a first date, in a relationship, or if you are married. And here are some of my turnoffs: loud chewing and lip smacking, poor hygiene, selfishness in any capacity, refusing to let me have a bite of his food, or not caring about my needs in bed, etc. Loud talking, talking loudly on the phone, in public especially, poor manners in general, burping out loud when it's inappropriate, farting in front of me and trapping me in it, funky natural scent, arrogance, rudeness, disrespectful behavior, obnoxiousness, sarcasm, nigging, and any manipulation to lower my self-esteem, or lying for no reason, and being rude to service workers and waiters. So tell me, what are your big turnoffs? A negative victim mentality is always someone else's fault whatever happens to them. Lack of accountability, and when they oversell things. Once I was invited to a wine tasting date. Turns out the activity was going to a Walmart to try the wine samples. Wait, Walmart has wine samples that you can try? Wait, what? I don't think that was an oversell. I think that was just a different implication. I don't think he oversold a wine tasting thing, because if you can actually taste wine at a Walmart, then technically he wasn't lying. I don't think he oversold it. I think he spoke truthfully. I don't know. I think you lost out on that dude. Man is sounding like a keeper with that Walmart wine samples. He didn't lie. It was wine tasting, just a different type of it, you know? And then we get another bullet point: rude to waiters or other people. No manners, actualizing almost everything, calling me babe or baby when we only just met or started talking over me or interrupting me when I'm talking to them, constantly checking out other women, and racial fetishes put me off as a mixed woman. And then we get yet another kind of bullet point thing off the top of my head, bringing up actual stuff early on, saying babe or honey with kissing emojis after one date, extreme stinginess, selfishness, and finding any excuse to tell me I'm buying the drinks on the first date. Not just because I am more traditional, but I also personally wouldn't say it even to a friend, let alone a date. Or, another thing I don't like is interview-style questions or interrogations. And then another thing is with communication. You often get either those who don't bother to reply for 2 days, or those who spend 1,000 texts on the first date and write passive-aggressive comments when you don't reply within 2 hours. It is hard to meet someone with a healthy or matching communication style. That is based on my recent experiences. Everything others said is also valid, I just haven't experienced it. And guys, I'm gonna be honest, I think there's already a pattern starting here, with the next one going, for me, it would be talking S, like right off the bat, if we had just started conversing. It is different if I were talking to them for a while and had a few dates that hit off really well, then that would just become natural progression in my opinion. If I wanted something casually, then I wouldn't be out in the dating world to begin with. Am I the only one who thinks that's a little bit off, saying if I wanted something casually, then I wouldn't be in the dating world to begin with? You know how many people are in the quote-unquote dating world, but they're just looking for casual hookups? That is kind of an ignorant take, if I'm being honest. Like, sure, you can say you wouldn't be in the dating world if you did want something casually, but at the same time, there's a lot of people who are in the dating world who are just wanting something casual. So it's a little bit of an ignorant take if you ask me. Anywho. And then we get a post from a dude who asks his female best friend. Guys who are always on their phone, wet hair gel looks, talks like he is uneducated, has no smart opinions, is short or fat or sloppy dresser. Damn, I'm out of the dating pool for her. Or condescending. Our last response to this comment thread is from Tofu Princess. I don't like smokers, gamblers, irresponsible, all talk and no backed by actions, poor hygiene including oral hygiene, selfish, inconsiderate, obnoxious, loud person, womanizer, compulsive, liar, cheap, insensitive, not a good person to talk to, and not a good listener. So I guess the way I could end this is, to the men out there, apparently well, not really apparently, just don't be actual in any way. Don't, because apparently no one likes it. Shucks. Yeah, I mean, just don't actualize on the first date in text. To me, that sounds pretty obvious, but I should just say it as a PSA, because that seems to be a very common theme throughout this entire question. Anyways, continuing on to the next one. And the next story comes from No Name. This guy texted me literally every second, but as soon as he came to know that I was interested, he was like super slow with his replies, and I'm so confused. Also, this is not the first time this has happened. Till the time I'm giving attitude or acting mysterious, guys are replying every second, but as soon as I show I'm interested, they become so slow with their replies. And ladies and gentlemen, I entered in this question because there was a really good comment down below that I think that is very profound and quite nice. And it comes from Contest Organic. That seems to be the one universal thing that happens in dating across the world everywhere. Before even having a first date, I apologize profusely for not replying on time. I'll make it up to you. And after a few good days and you show interest, left on scene for 3 days. 3 days later, resume conversation like nothing happened. And ironically, when you don't like the person that much, they'll even double or triple text you, sensing your disengagement and lack of interest. Personally, I try to train myself to be interested in guys who show consistent interest in me. This means after date 3 or so, maybe he did charm me on the first date and I felt that we have so much in common, but if he evolves to keeping me days without a reply, I get that either 1, he doesn't like me as much as I like him, 2, he doesn't want anything serious and feels that I do, or 3, he has avoidant personality, so he's only interested when you are mysterious or disinterested, only to pull back when you show you like them. This is non-sustainable in the long term, and I think pretty much pointless if you're looking for a life partner. You cannot play this game for the rest of your life. And so you should try to learn to disengage with guys like that. Honestly, every time I was looking for excuses for this kind of behavior, it never had a happy ending. A guy who likes you and wants something serious would be consistent in his communication. Same applies to women as well. If I like someone, I don't want to keep him guessing and wondering why I don't reply. And so you should learn to move on from these guys quickly. I'm reading a book that advises to call out on this kind of behavior, because apparently sometimes a guy might realize he's dealing with a serious girl and might be a wake-up call. I'm not a huge fan of this idea, but on the other hand, you don't have anything to lose, do you? The message needs to be very well framed though, so don't just blurt out anything that comes to mind. And yeah, no, I think that is perfectly put. You really shouldn't be dealing with behavior like that, where you're left unread for 3 days at a time. Like, I mean, say they had a hospital emergency, then I guess sure, but 3 days of just not texting, that's kind of annoying and a little bit nerve-wracking, and I'd just say don't be in that. It's not smart. Anyways, continuing on. And the final story comes from Alex Guy. Anything short of the absolute perfect interaction results in me never getting the first date. I either ask the date too soon, come across as needy, and she stops responding, or text too much and she gets bored and then stops responding. It is painful always feeling like you're the reason she lost interest. And then down below we have someone who goes through the same experience. I've had multiple women double text, double snap, go through and reply to my stories, react to every little thing I post, and it's like the second I show them I'm interested, I'm ghosted out of nowhere. Or my favorite, whenever they initiate a date or 2 or 3, then just never end up actually making it happen despite me putting an effort into scheduling and the actual work it takes to set up the date. And And I'm just much better in person, and while I'm okay with digital means after I get to know you, I always like actually meeting the person soon after meeting to ensure it's not just a waste of time. I've communicated this and have had it reciprocated by others who say they feel the same, only to get ghosted. And then we get a kind of resounding message from Static Cloud. People are difficult. This is the right answer. Unfortunately, nothing is ever going to be right for everybody. For everyone's person who hates being double texted, there's a person who wishes their date would text more. It is unfortunately just a matter of luck and running into the right person at the right time. And then we get a helpful message from this toast is tasty. Just be yourself. Literally, you keep trying to not ask for a date when you want to and not come across as needy and not text too much. Bruh, who cares? Just talk to them if you want to talk to them. You're worrying too much. If it happens, it will happen. Now, if you're talking about how things to go on casual dates and flings, sure. But if you want to get married, you can't play these games. Which, in my opinion, is put in a much more cohesive way by Turbulent Gene. I'm a guy. I know the answer because I've finally experienced what it is like to be on the other side. You are a man looking for a woman. Women most likely have more dating experience than men. That means that she knows better what she wants than you do. No offense, that is just how it is. If you make a mistake, she's seen that mistake before many times and it always ends up bad for her. So she bails before wasting more time. She is tired of this. Again, this has nothing to do with you. It is just that in her head, she's not settling for a certain kind of guys anymore because she knows she doesn't have to. You are the reason why she lost interest. But that's because you're trying to get other people to like you. Don't do that. You don't get people to like you despite what dating gurus tell you to sell you something. You simply exist as yourself. You have your hobbies and stuff. If they like you, amazing. If they don't, none of your business. When women like you, they will forget about being modern or traditional or whatever the meta is. They'll just come after you with no shame. They'll drop the idea of an Italian muscular romantic husband who can cook her the best food in the universe. And I think that is put quite eloquently, just don't try to be someone that someone will like. Just be yourself. Now, granted, that is kind of crappy dating advice, the whole entire just be yourself. But at the same time, if you're not yourself, then eventually you will be yourself in that relationship. Are you willing to bet that they're gonna like you who you are after the skin of you being someone who you think that person would like wears off? Do you think they're gonna like you for who you are when that time comes? Because if not, then you're looking for either a future divorce or a future breakup. So you technically should just be yourself. It is crappy dating advice because, you always hear, oh, just be yourself, and it gets you nowhere. But at the same time, if you're not yourself, and then all of a sudden you start dating, and then later on that skin of you not being yourself fades off, then you just have to pray that they like who you actually are, which that is a different kind of problem at that rate. Anywho, let me know what your thoughts are down below. Anyways, well, that is about it for those stories today. But if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe to become a fellow bread bag. But aside from that, I post 2 new videos every day, so I hope to see you next time toasting session. But until then, have a good one.